Hello everybody, welcome to the Football Daily Weekly. Good to see you here. We've got Dave and Adam. No Lawrence.
No Lawrence.
No Lawrence. We're going to be talking about the 5 things we learned from the weekend's footballing action. Let's start with Arsenal. They could challenge for the title next season, or could they? Adam.
They should challenge for the title.
They should challenge for the title next season. They beat Liverpool 4-1.
Exactly. Based on this performance, it was pretty comprehensive, wasn't it? A very comprehensive win.
Based on their recent run of form.
Exactly. So what's that? Is it 7 wins in a row now?
I believe so. 21 wins in 26 games.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. I think defensively, Liverpool were exposed. They obviously missed Martin Skrtel. And, you know, Arsenal exploited that with 4 fantastic goals. The quality was incredible. They just they put Liverpool to the sword, really. Liverpool didn't have an answer for it. So I don't know whether it's frustrating for Arsenal fans or it's encouraging to see this run of form. They probably should have been challenging for the title this season. When you look at, Man City have underperformed, Man United are in transition, of course. Liverpool, had a terrible spell at the start of the season.
And injuries and sold Suarez.
Exactly. So I don't know, with Arsenal, you feel like looking at next season, if they had 1 or 2 key signings, they're going to be right up there, I think.
Would you go along with that, Dave?
I'd say so, yeah. I think the Arsenal were pretty good in the game. Liverpool had that massive chance at the start when Markovic should have probably played a better ball to Sterling. Mm-hmm. The game would have been completely different. Liverpool could have sit back, hit them on the counter-attack with their pace. But Arsenal, blow them away. Ramsey's really important in that side. He's come back, he's creating goals, 2 assists against Liverpool. He's really good. His energy is what they've been lacking a little bit. Coquelin and Ramsey, that could be an absolute midfield force for next season and pushing for the title next season, definitely.
Do you think this is a better Arsenal team than the one a few years ago with Fabregas, Nasri and Robin van Persie?
I'd probably say no. I think that side had more to it, had a little bit more quality. The likes of Cesc Fabregas we've seen this season in the Premier League, 16 assists, he's been phenomenal. And Samir Nasri was probably hitting his peak, you'd say, at Arsenal at that time, and then RVP was banging the goals in. So I'd say it's not as good as that side, but it's encouraging. I think Arsenal probably need a centre-back, to step in for Mertesacker, someone that's a better ball player, a bit quicker over the ground, can cover his fullbacks well. But I think Liverpool really did cause a lot of their own problems in this game.
Yeah, Adam, do you think Liverpool, are they out of the top 4 run now? Because, they really needed to win that one.
I wouldn't say they're out. They're not out of it, so they are...
mathematically they're not.
Yeah, they're 7 points off with 7 games left. I'd say the way it is at the moment is how it's going to finish. Tottenham are on 54 points as well as Liverpool. Yeah. I'd say we're not going to get in that top 4. Southampton on 53. So I'd say it's going to be Arsenal, Man United and Man City.
It is a Manchester derby this week.
Exactly, yeah.
So that one of them will obviously drop points and Liverpool could gain a little bit of ground.
I don't think so. I think the question is who's going to finish second and third. That's the main...
Dave, you think Liverpool maybe Europa League?
Potentially, if United do beat City or City beat United and then it opens up again. I think Liverpool are good at beating the smaller teams this season with this formation. But I did say on Football Daily about 2 months ago that Liverpool are going to struggle against the bigger teams. And they've seen against United and we've seen against Arsenal that their wing-backs are just not switched on. And that's the problem with this system. It's at the top level, you're not really seeing teams play 3 at the back. And I think that's sort of showing now with Liverpool.
So we think no to Liverpool in Champions League. Arsenal perhaps for the title next season. They should be challenging at least.
Yeah, they should be. Yeah.
Okay. Bayern are too strong for the resurgent Borussia Dortmund. Although Dortmund's resurgence has had a few hiccups of late.
Yeah, I think before this game they were 7 unbeaten though. So this has sort of ended that run.
True.
I think.
I think they won 4 in a row or something.
Yeah.
The wins have
but for me, I don't know how you saw it, but Bayern Munich looked relatively comfortable. I think Dortmund had a few good chances. That free kick right at the end, Royce, Neuer had to pull off an amazing save. But I think Bayern, they looked at as strong as everyone thinks they are, and they're now marching towards their 3rd title in a row, and there's no one who can really compete with them. I know Wolfsburg, are doing very well this season, but they're still 10 points behind Bayern Munich. Dortmund now, I don't even know if they're going to make the European places. So they're just dominating that league, and they're so strong. Bayern Munich. I think Robin was out, Ribery was out, Alaba was out, Goetze was on the bench, and they still managed to look quite comfortable in beating.
It was inevitable that Lewandowski was to score the goal.
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. It's a different Bayern Munich, I think, for this last game. They got beat by Gladbach last weekend, and it was a brilliant performance from Gladbach. They pretty much played like a 4-6-0, no real strikers. I think Pep sort of saw that and thought, right, let's try this against Dortmund. Dortmund have been struggling breaking teams down with the ball and getting hit on the break. That's what Bayern did. And Lewandowski was so key to this. He was involved in 32 duels. So 32 is a massive number of duels. That's 11 take-ons he was involved in. something crazy like 19.
And before every duel, did he take out a glove and say,
yeah, he said,
hit
sir, we're ready. But he won 15 of them. He brought his Bayern Munich teammates into play. It's what Dortmund are lacking this year. Aubameyang is a brilliant pacey striker, but he's not a target man that brings the three midfielders, attacking midfielders behind into play, and that's what they've been lacking. You know, you see for the Bayern Munich goal, Lewandowski takes the ball to his feet, holds off Hummels, brilliant turn, plays the ball through, scores the rebound. It's just that type of player that Lewandowski really should be at Borussia Dortmund still. That's what they need.
Of course, yeah.
And Pep could potentially be changing up Bayern Munich a little bit and bring Lewandowski more into the game. And that's probably better for Bayern Munich, I'd say. More variation for the Champions League.
Yeah, so, I mean, Adam, Borussia Dortmund are going to miss out on Champions League football for next season because they won't qualify. There's a slight chance of Europa League, but, I mean, how hard is that for them not to get Champions League? Do you think they'll be able to just say, okay, a bit like Manchester United, okay, let's write that off and then continue next season, or is that a kind of could lose some of the best players?
I think it would have been very different if Royce hadn't have signed that contract. I think now there'd be a lot of anxious Dortmund fans, but I think the fact that Royce has signed that contract, that means that Hummels as the captain, he might be more inclined to stay. It's a statement of intent from Dortmund. So I don't think it's going to be that detrimental. But yeah, it does depend if Hummels does stay, if Klopp stays as well. If they can keep him for one more season, next season, get back in the Champions League, maybe actually challenge for the title, I think that they'll be all right.
Yeah, nice to see Thiago.
Yeah, nice. Coming back onto the pitch, a brilliant player. Yeah. We've missed him.
He's been out since March 2014, I think, with the knee injury.
Blimey.
Yeah, so good to see him back. So yes, Bayern Munich are too strong for the resurgent Borussia Dortmund. Ronaldo and Real Madrid finally find a bit of form, gentlemen. They've not been too good in recent weeks, but they perhaps bottled it all up and unleashed it against Granada, Adam, with a 9-1 win. I love the fact that they lost a goal. 9-1,
Just spoils it slightly, but they were... they were amazing.
I know,
Granada are obviously in the bottom half of La Liga, so you have to keep that in mind. But they were so...
No, it doesn't matter where they are in the league. They've 9 goals.
It's still very impressive. But I think, it was great to see Ronaldo obviously scoring 5 goals. So that's the first time he's ever scored 5 in a single match, obviously. Messi had done it before, so now Ronaldo's matched him. Even, Gareth Bale and Benzema were really impressive. But I think... having James Rodriguez back was very important for Real Madrid. It sort of brought a bit more balance to that midfield. Obviously, Isco's been very impressive while Rodriguez has been away, but I think
a little bit more craft, perhaps.
Yeah, he seems like just a little bit of a step up from Isco. But I mean, Ronaldo was just incredible. He just switched it on. Everyone's been down and saying he's like in a real slump. He's out of form in 2015, but now he's back. He got those 5 goals. He's back ahead of Messi in the scoring rankings. So
joint on hat-tricks now in the league.
Joint hat-tricks, yeah. So. Now he looks like he's going to win the Golden Boot probably with the way he's going.
Dave, what do you think?
36 goals in 26 games for Ronaldo this season. That is insane. That's crazy stats. I
mad.
think going back to the James Rodriguez point, definitely he created 5 chances in the game, 2 assists. He's linking the play a bit better. He's a little bit more than Isco. I love Isco as a player, but maybe for the weaker teams where Real Madrid can play this crazy midfield of James, Kroos, and Luka Modric, 3 attacking midfielders, and still blast teams away. That's what they sort of want to do, but you might see in the Champions League that they might need to bring in your Mendes of the world to potentially go as far as they did last season in the competition. But for Real Madrid, it's back on form.
Yeah, I think it was an important win, like you're saying, back on form because they're still 4 points behind Barcelona. But Barcelona, they sort of struggled a little bit last night. They only won 1-0. So I think for Real Madrid to get this win is a big confidence boost. Not just in the title running, but obviously in the Champions League. They've got to face Atletico, which is going to be a huge game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, it's a great win for Real Madrid.
And Herrera is no longer the forgotten man at Manchester United, gentlemen. He inspired Manchester United to a 3-1 victory over Tim Sherwood's Aston Villa. Dave, you like Herrera? Should he be in that Manchester United midfield? Should he be at the heart of it?
100%. I think.
Is he the new Paul Scholes?
He could be. He could definitely be the new Paul Scholes. He's got the technique. He's got the vision. He's brilliant. I love how he brings in fullbacks. The through balls to the fullbacks. He loves getting wingers or fullbacks behind the opposition defence, and that's what you want. Cut it back, and then you're causing people problems. Crosses that are from deep areas are difficult. But moving on to the midfield 3, I think we found real balance there. We've got Carrick, who's the passer, Fellaini, who's the destroyer, and Herrera, the main man of the moment. 5 goals this season, 4 assists. It's the first time that we've had a real goal-scoring input since probably Paul Scholes in 2005, 2006.
Only 5 goals this season, though.
It's positive though. It's in 15 starts. It's a decent record for a central midfielder that has been in and out of the team. Now we've been playing different formations, and now we've found that balance now of this 4-3-3 with that midfield three. I think it's just going to get better and better.
Adam, what do you think of Herrera?
Yeah, I don't think it's any coincidence that for a long time people were saying Manchester United are winning games, but they're playing poorly. And between October and February, Herrera only started 3 games. So now he's got a consistent run in the team, like you say, with Carrick coming back and alongside Fellaini as well. I think that's what's made the difference for them in terms of finding a bit of fluidity, a bit of balance in that midfield. I think he's a really good player. Yeah, I think a lot of Man United fans seem quite annoyed that he wasn't in the team for that long run of time. But credit to Van Gaal, he's sort of using him at the right time. And now, they're in the battle for second place. So.
Do you think Van Gaal's got that midfield a bit more sorted, I suppose, now? Because, he was bringing Rooney back and playing him in there, obviously not a traditional midfielder. Yeah. Di Maria, who has played very well for Real Madrid inside, but again is usually farmed out wide and has been for most of his career. Do you think now that is, he knows his ideas, he knows his options a bit better?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. For me, it was sort of where the passes were being played. At the start of the season when we were playing a 3-5-2 or maybe it's potentially the diamond, the ball was just with the centre-half too much, and you're looking at the passing stats, it'd always be one of the centre-halves that have the most passes on the pitch. Now we're seeing the midfield being brought in, and the Herrera 93 passes against Aston Villa, the most of any player in the Premier League this weekend. And that's the difference. The ball is in the right areas. The ball is with the players that can make a difference, not with the centre-back, the likes of Chris Smalling, who potentially isn't the best on the ball, or Phil Jones that's half decent. Rojo's probably the best ball player we've got, but not quite as incisive as Ander Herrera, Michael Carrick, or a Daley Blind playing in central midfield, should we say?
Of course, yeah. Well, it's good to see Herrera back in that Manchester United side, and he is not the forgotten man anymore. It's worth having a pop anywhere on the field in the Premier League. Charlie Adam would certainly agree. 65 yards?
It's pretty good, wasn't it? It wasn't too shabby.
It wasn't. Now you see, on Match of the Day, they gave us a brief recent history of the very long range.
Yeah, that's good.
In the Premier League, and there's that Xabi Alonso one for Liverpool, but the keeper was at fault. The keeper slipped there.
Yeah.
The Wayne Rooney one against West Ham again. Yeah. The keeper seemed to just lose his mind for a brief moment. Whereas this goal, actually, Courtois wasn't that far off his line. The perfect strike. Sailed in. I think fantastic.
Jonathan Walters was saying that Charlie Adam tries that about once a game, so maybe it's just like it's finally come off.
Yeah, true.
After years.
But it was a brilliant goal.
But what a place to do it as well at Stamford Bridge. I mean, if you don't need to. You don't even need to unlock the midfield, let alone the defence, if you're going to shoot from your own half.
It's one of the best goalies in Europe as well, you'd say. So
in the world.
In order to, exactly.
We'd even extend it to that.
So I think it was really good. I was surprised to see Michael Owen said it wasn't that good. Michael Owen wasn't impressed. He said, no, you can't put that with a goal of the season contenders. Oh, I can't. Why was he saying that? I didn't understand why.
I'm not sure.
It was a fantastic
brilliant goal.
I think he said hitting a ball hard, long and straight is not that difficult. So therefore it shouldn't be counted as the goal of the season against, say, Rooney's goal, which was spectacular. Bringing it down that half volley into the top corner.
But surely often we rate goals on how rare you see a piece of skill. So, for example, that Dennis Bergkamp turn against Newcastle was such a brilliant goal because it was quite rare. Now, it may have not been better than a team goal or perhaps a half volley from 30 yards.
Yeah.
But because it was quite rare to see.
But would you say that Charlie Adams goal, say if it was up against the Matty Phillips goal from the other week, which one's better, would you say?
Well, Phillips' goal was a great strike.
I'd be tempted to say Phillips just because I know Courtois wasn't massively at fault, but he was off his line.
But Speroni, again, you can argue, a keeper being beaten.
But it was bang in the top corner.
True, but if Speroni was that side of the goal.
I don't know, I'd prefer the Matty Phillips goal, I think.
I would say the Wayne Rooney goal potentially is better than the Adams goal.
I'd
argue it. I just think it was out of...
Was it against West Ham?
Yeah, absolutely out of nothing. The game was awful. And he, completely changes it. Again, he scored a goal this weekend that was quite similar to that just sort of creates something out of nothing. He has the audacity to go for it.
But it's Charlie Adams creates something out of nothing. And the significance of that goal.
Going back to that point of Charlie Adam, if Charlie Adam tries it every sort of...
No, but if he tries it a lot, right?
And then Wayne Rooney's brought the ball down and he's volleyed it and it's gone in.
But that's not the... It doesn't matter how many times he's tried it or not. You are isolating, goal of the month. Okay. You don't sort of think, goal of the month, he missed 5 chances to score that overhead kick from 30 yards out.
True. Is it the goal of the season for you then? Premier League goal of the season?
One matter against Liverpool.
Well, there you go. That is the end of the Football Daily Weekly for another week. Do get your comments in below and let us know what you thought of all that chitter-chatter there. Adam, it's been a pleasure. Dave, lovely to have you back as well. And we'll see you next time.